I'm Jacqui. Welcome to the Larder, Kids in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you two quick and easy recipes. Just like the others, they're tasty, nutritious and affordable. Same rules as before. Tie your hair back if it's long. Wash your hands. If you've got any cuts or grazes, please put a plaster on them. And if you have to sneeze or cough, just take a break and wash your hands again. Decide ahead who's going to be doing what and try and have an adult with you as well. So let's get cooking. Okay, the first recipe for today is red pepper lentil soup. This is such an easy recipe and it's so tasty and good for you. I make this soup for my family a couple of times a week. I'm going to show you a recipe that makes about 6 portions, but if you have more of these ingredients in your larder, you can make a bigger batch and it freezes really well. So first of all, I'll show you what we've got in the soup. We've got an onion, a couple of stalks of celery. I always use the leaves as well, so they don't need to go to waste, and I think they add to the flavour. A carrot, a stock cube, a red pepper, some red lentils. These don't need soaking, they just go straight in the soup. You don't have to soak them overnight. Salt and pepper. I'm going to be using cayenne pepper. It's a bit spicy, so if you're not used to hot food or you don't like it, just a little bit, but give it a go because it does help the flavour. And then 1 litre of water. If you haven't got a measuring jug, it's about 5 mugfuls of water. Okay, your chopping board, your potato peeler, vegetable peeler, a good sharp knife. Last time I cooked with you, I told you that a sharp knife is much safer than a blunt knife. So a sharp knife and a soup pan and your wooden spoon. Okay, so we can get going with this now. So let's get our onion cut up first. I always take the end off, and then you can put your onion on the chopping board. And using the bridge technique, if you've heard me talk about this before, then it's always worth hearing again. So I just cut the onion in half, and I find it easier to peel doing that. Okay, so there's our onion peeled, and I've got no tears yet. So using the claw method, we're just going to cut back on the onion. Put the bits in my bowl. Just cutting back, fingers out the way. And then because it's soup, I'm going to chop the onion a little bit finer, so it's not too chunky. So onions chopped, goes in the pan. The thing that makes this soup so quick is that there's no pre-cooking. You don't have to saute any of the ingredients. It all just gets chopped up and straight in the pan, and it doesn't matter which order either because it all cooks together. So here's the celery. Give that a rough chopping, but small pieces. That helps with the soup cooking quicker, and it helps you decide if you want to leave the soup chunky or if you want to smooth it out a bit, which I'll show you at the end of the recipe. Red pepper. Doesn't matter what size, go ahead and use the whole pepper, and you can get right down to the nub of it as well. You can use other vegetables as well if you've got any veggies that are in your fridge and they need to be used. just pop them in. Sweet corn, extra carrots, courgettes, anything really. So there's your pepper going in. The soup's going to be really colourful and it's going to be full of vitamins. So the last veggie that I'm using today is the carrot, and I will go ahead and peel it. Okay, diced carrot, all ready to go in. That's all the veg. So then we just add the rest of the ingredients. Your stock cube, I just squish it up a little bit to get it in there. The red lentils. If you can't get red lentils, you could use split peas, the yellow ones, those would work, or green lentils as well. 1 tin of tomatoes, and then a little tip, just take some of your water to just swish around the tin so you're getting all the tomatoes in there. Pop in your water, a little bit of salt. I would say a flat teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. You can use white pepper as well, that's absolutely fine. And then the cayenne pepper. And I'm gonna go with just a quarter of a teaspoon. And that will give it a little bit of heat, but not too much. If you haven't got cayenne pepper, you can go ahead and use chili flakes. But again, I would use about half a teaspoon, not more than that, or it'll be really hot, unless you like really spicy. So just give all that a stir together. Look at all that goodness. And then that is gonna go on the hob. On a medium heat, and we're going to come and have a look at that in about 20 minutes time. But while it's cooking, we're going to go ahead and make some Easter biscuits. Before we start making the biscuits, let's turn the oven on. Mine's electric, so it's going to go on at 180 degrees. If you've got a gas oven, then that's going to go on gas mark 4. Hi, welcome back. While our soup's cooking, I'm going to show you how to make traditional Easter biscuits. So here are our ingredients that we're going to use today. It's 2.5 teacups of self-raising flour or plain flour with some baking powder, 4 tablespoons of butter or margarine, 1 3/4 teacups of sugar, and I'm using brown. I didn't have any white. It doesn't matter which one you use, both will work. 3 tablespoons of currants. If you haven't got currants, you can use any dried fruit. I've got sultanas here, and I've also got dried cranberries. So I did have currants in, that's what I'm going to go for, but any dried fruit, you could also use chopped dates as well. An option is to use the rind of half a lemon. I haven't actually got a lemon, so a lemon's not going to go into my biscuits today, but if you have one, grate the rind of a lemon, and then we're going to use an egg to bind it all together. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, we're going to put the 2.5 teacups of flour into the bowl. I've already started this, so this is my second one that's going in there. 4 tablespoons of margarine go in. So I've got my flour and I've got my butter, and I'm going to start mixing it up. If you've been watching the other recipes, then this is similar to the scone-based pizza. We're looking for a breadcrumb consistency. So I'm happy with that, and it's now time to add the sugar. So we're looking at 1 3/4 cups of sugar. So that's all my sugar in there. And this is the stage that you would add your lemon rind. And also I'm going to go for the currants, and these go in at this time as well. 3 tablespoons of currants. And then we're going to mix all of that together just briefly. I'm happy with that, and then get my egg ready. Just lightly beat it so it mixes in nicely. That's enough, and then that's going to go in as well. Alright, I'm happy with my biscuit dough now, so I'm going to put plenty of flour on my surface so that it doesn't stick. And we'll take it out of the bowl and just give it another knead. Don't worry about the dough catching all that flour, it will get mixed in. I'm going to roll my cookie dough out, biscuit dough, and it's got to be about 0.5 centimeters in thickness. Do it gently, it's not bread dough, so you want, and it's got lots of sugar in it, so it is a little bit sticky. So just lightly using your rolling pin, roll out your dough. And you can use a little bit more flour on top. I'm going to give mine one more roll, and then I think that's the thickness that I'm looking for. So now you want to cook your biscuits. If you have a biscuit cookie cutter or a scone cutter, that's great. You can use that. You can use a glass. You can even use a tin. Get a grown-up to make sure that the tin is washed out, but that will be fine too. Or you can even shape these by hand as well. So I'm gonna do my first lot of shapes. I like to do it all in one go. And then lift them out. I'll get my baking sheet. This has been lightly spread with some of the margarine that I used in the dough, and so you do want your cookie sheet to be greased, and then put your biscuits on. Now because I've used brown sugar, mine look a bit brown. If you use white sugar, then they're going to be a little bit paler than mine. And that's absolutely fine. My first batch of biscuits are ready to go in the oven using my oven gloves. Just stand to the side, carefully put them in. If you've got more than one baking that first one and then go back to my biscuit dough and gathering it all up again. With a little bit more flour. Give it another knead. And then it's ready to roll and cut again. Just while my biscuits are cooking, I'm checking on my soup. This has been cooking now for about 10 minutes. It's looking good, but it needs another 10 minutes more. So lid on, and we'll keep that on the simmer. Okay, let's have a look at our soup. That is looking really good. Okay, so that took 20 minutes. I'm going to turn it off now and bring it over off the stove. So as you can see, everything is really nice and soft. So that soup took 20 minutes to cook and it's quite chunky. You can serve the soup just like this. Nice and chunky, lovely and soft veg. You could serve it as a chunky soup like that, or if you wanted to break it down to a smoother soup, let it cool down. It's too hot to handle right now. Use a potato masher and squish it up, or if you have a handheld blender, again, let the soup cool down and then use the handheld blender to make it into a nice smooth soup. It's just whatever you want to do. Soup's ready, and while we've been preparing the soup, the biscuits have been in the oven for 15 minutes. And there they are. You don't want to eat these biscuits hot. You want to just get them out if you've got an old clean grill pan, or you can just put them on a plate. But you do want your biscuits to cool down. The story behind these biscuits is that people would bake them and then bundle them up in threes and give them out as presents, and they signify the 3 crosses on Good Friday of Jesus and the 2 thieves. So there you go, red pepper lentil soup and Easter biscuits. If you've got some icing sugar, you can pretty them up with a little drift of sugar. And I've just blended my soup a little bit. It's still chunky. Look at that, all that goodness, very tasty. So today we had 2 recipes. You've been busy in the kitchen, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you have a really happy Easter. Bye for now.